everyone, and welcome back to the Breakdown Tech. Today I'm going to be talking about the minimum system requirements that you need to run PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds or PUBG in 2018. These are the most up-to-date specs with the recommended settings and the minimum settings. In addition to, at the end of this video, I'm going to show you guys how to build a minimum PUBG system for $750. But before we get into it, be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already for more awesome content exactly like this every single day of the week. It really does mean a lot to us, you liking and subscribing, so thank you for the support. Now let's get on into the video. So what are the minimum system requirements for PUBG? Well, you need an Intel Core i3-4340 or an AMD FX 6300. So pretty old graphics cards there. We're looking at 4th generation Intel, so not too bad as far as the minimum goes. But remember, this is the minimum, what you're playing on. Bare bones, horrible settings, probably hard to find people in PUBG if I'm honest. Now that's for the processor. What about for the minimum specs graphics card? Well, we're looking at an NVIDIA GeForce GTX 660 2GB or an AMD Radeon HD 4850 2GB graphics card, so not horrible there. For RAM, it's a little weird, 6GB, which means, yeah, it's not like incredible, but it's not horrible as far as RAM goes, and it's a really weird number. I don't really know how you would achieve 6GB of RAM. I guess 3 2GB sticks? I don't know. Do they make 3GB? I don't know. But that's what it is. 6GB of RAM is required for minimum. You're also going to need 64-bit Windows 10 and 30GB of storage. It's a big game, so those 30GB are, well, needed. Now what about the recommended settings? If you're gonna build a PC for PUBG, this is what you wanna do it on, and this is what the one we're gonna be looking at later has in it. For the processor, you're looking at a Ryzen 5 1600 or an Intel Core i5 7600K. Holy crap, that is a big jump from the minimum to the recommended settings for this PC in regards to the processor. But still, that's what it is, that's what they recommend, so that's what I'm going to tell you here. Now, what about the graphics card? Well, speaking of big jumps, PUBG is recommended to be played on an NVIDIA 1060 6GB graphics card, and they actually do not have an AMD recommendation, which surprised the crap out of me. But an NVIDIA 1060, wow, that just blows my mind, guys. That's a pretty pricey graphics card right now, so that really surprised me, but yikes. Now, as far as RAM goes, we're looking at 8GB of DDR4 RAM there, not a problem. That's kind of what I was expecting. It doesn't surprise me that there's not much of a jump from the minimum to the recommended. Games typically don't use much RAM, so 8GB is plenty for 99.9% of games out there. And you'll still need that Windows 10 64-bit in addition to 30GB of storage. That doesn't change. Now, what if you were gonna build this system yourself, this recommended PUBG system? Well, you can check out all of the links to all of the parts needed in the description down below on Amazon. If you go buy those on Amazon, it does support the channel. So let's go through this build though. What does a minimum PUBG build need? Well, for the processor, we're going with that AMD Ryzen 5 1600. Good processor there, great bang for your buck, so that's what we're going with. Now, you will need a motherboard as well to power this entire thing, and with that, we're going with the ASRock A320M-DGS Micro ATX motherboard. So small form factor here, but that's okay. We're trying to build a budget system, so it makes sense. In the RAM department, we are going with Patriot Signature Line RAM, and we're going with two 4GB sticks for a total of 8GB of RAM. Again, the recommended for this system, and that's a really good thing, guys, because RAM prices are incredibly high, and if you wanted to, you could order 2 more 4GB sticks without any issue and upgrade this thing to 16GB. For a hard drive, we're going with a personal favorite of mine, a 1TB Western Digital Caviar Blue. That's going to be a $50 hard drive that will serve you well over time. I have used these drives for forever and never had an issue with any of them, and I bought like 4 or 5 at this point to stuff into systems and things like that, so it's not an issue with these drives. They're incredible. I swear by them, and that's what I'm putting in this build. Now, you might be asking, but I want an SSD. Well, if you want an SSD, you could add one in, but it's going to cost you about $100 to get one that's actually worth anything good, so that's something to keep in mind. SSDs are not required, and in this system, for PUBG specifically, a 1TB hard drive is more than enough. Now, let's talk graphics card. For the graphics card, they recommended a GTX 1060, and that's what we're putting in this thing. An NVIDIA GTX 1060, which actually isn't too crazy anymore. You can get one of these for $350. I mean, sure, our processor and our graphics card come in at like half of this build, or over half? Yeah, over half of this build, but still, not bad. $320 to $350 for a graphics card. card these days isn't too horrible. And considering this one's 6 gigabytes, it actually gets a thumbs up from me. For the case, we're going with something small, a DIY PC MA01-R micro ATX case. This thing's only setting you back $26. It's got some fans included, so airflow should be good. But this system won't run too hot other than the graphics card anyway, so yeah, that's that. Last but not least, we need a power supply, and with that, we're going with the Cooler Master 550 watt, 80 plus bronze certified semi-modular power supply. Now sure, you're gonna have some extra cables that you're gonna have to stuff into this small PC, but guys, the thing is, this is a budget build, and this is a great bang for your budget power supply. So there you guys have it. For $752.88 when this video goes up, you can build a budget gaming PC for PUBG, and actually, this thing should run quite a few other games on the market. That graphics card alone is insane. So yeah, this combo will run pretty much any modern game actually at least recommended settings. So good there as far as that goes. It's actually a pretty good build if you're considering building a gaming PC, even for stuff outside of PUBG. So yeah, anyway, that's the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and be sure to check out all of these links down below on Amazon. If you go and buy through any of those links, it supports the channel. Speaking of the channel, be sure to subscribe to it. My name is Nick. This has been The Breakdown, and I am out, guys. Peace.